like brothers. There's gonna be those songs you make which are gonna be fairly easy and you're like, huh? And then there's gonna be those songs you make where it plays hard to get. You struggle, you question the craft, you question your direction in life. But eventually, you will solve the riddle, and it will be one of those songs that teaches you the most, that gives you the most aha moment. Kick selection is important, and I made a whole video about it. But here's the thing. It's easy to do it when you're working on other people's music. When it's your own music, it's like your brain goes into tunnel vision, and a lot of the times you have to look out for that. In this particular song, the kick sounded like this. I thought it was good until one of you guys actually during the live stream told me you might want to switch the kick because your track is very atmospheric and that kick is just destroying all the beauty in it. And I was like, contrast? Now I'm kidding. Once he said that, I tried it and I was humbled because, oh my God, the switch and kick, Evil Sounds house kick, decade-old kick, one of my favorite ones. This is EQ for if you guys want to copy it. Such a way better man. In order to create good music, there's a lot of things that have to come together. One of them being arrangement, songwriting, good melodies, etc. But the way you tell the story, the arrangement is one of the hardest things. And I find the mistake most producers, including me and you, make is that we listen to tracks, we listen to references, and we don't question the reference compared to ours. And what that means is you might hear a song where like they do something different than you, and you're like, oh, that's wrong, I have to do it this way. But sometimes you need to trust yourself. So in this track, this is how it used to be, okay? Which is rather... Hearing this now, I mean, that doesn't sound wrong, and it's what a lot of songs do, but to me, that's boring. Very boring, because there's no drama to it. You know, I feel music should be drama. There should be a push and pull, push and pull. Now, to execute proper transitions from sections, if you intend on keeping something that you had before, you want to make sure that you are filtering, that you are removing, that you are creating big enough changes to where the human brain... Is this a final dance? Is this a final dance? When you work on your own music, if you get goosebumps, it's right. Okay, so what changed? Like, what do we have to do? This is what we would call in music production a bridge, and the idea of the bridge is to lead us from the drop in dance to a come down to the break. You don't want to go straight into it unless it's the radio edit. Then you might decide to get rid of that. Drums all go away except the kick. Just like that. Now look at that. There's such a big change there. Contrast. You guys will always hear me talking about contrast in songwriting. That means that you take away, and the big enough changes what creates, again, the human brain goes, something happened. There's tension. When is the drums coming back? The other thing was the arps. So I was watching this video of I think it's Bad Bunny producer or reggaeton producer, who says that he likes to bounce down the synths after he has something he likes, because from their doors open. The powerful thing about doing that is that you can command, right, copy paste the arp now that has been bounced down. You do that by right clicking, freeze track, and then you click again and flatten track. You can use the audio manipulation engine of Ableton to do that. So for instance, here I might go -12 to bring that down. Complex Pro. Now I can start to add like other cool stuff like gates to it, like so. And then again, all of this, the possibility opens up through the bouncing down of the synth. Effort, putting in the effort to find things to really fill in the space of a song. A lot of people ask me how I get space in these songs that they've been hearing that I'm working on. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of ways, because this whole arrangement section is where the aha moment happened. Like, how did this come to be, right? This is insane for me. Afraid to love again, to take a chance. Portal, which is a cool plugin by Output. And I go through the presets to resample, to record out of it. So I put this on the vocal like so. Afraid to love again, to take a chance. And I'll add stuff like this. And you're literally trying to find like some Earcandy. As you do that, you will find maybe something you like. So then you can click here, resample into an audio file, and then you're going to solo that. You're going to hit record here, and then you're going to hit that boom and just record whatever happens. From there, you start to look at it, and if you can reverse, see if that inspires your brain to look for patterns. Like, for instance, this part's cool. So I reversed it there. Now I'm going to grab this. By itself, it's going to sound a little dodgy. That's fine. But now I can go beats, and I can do the thing that's hip, which is the gate on the vocal. Now it sounds a little nicer for the ears, but again, this is just a cave echo from Echo Boy. I love using the reverbs and spaces from it. The important thing with that, though, is you got to be careful with the dry and wet, because this stuff can linger for a long time in the track, and it can make the track sound kind of but again, this is how we would kind of generate ideas. It's a little bit of luck. It's like you're playing the slots, and that's fine as long as you can kind of hear and go, okay, that sounds dope. Now that beautiful atmosphere that you hear is made, again, by using the whole synths and doing the same resample effect. But now we can use plugins like Valhalla Shimmer. We can use plugins like Fragments in order to create something beautiful. So what I like to do is, again, we're going to put Valhalla Shimmer. Look at that. Now, again, there's a lot going on in the synth section, but I'm just trying to create something with that. So I'm going to go resample. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to learn to use the plugin, read the manual. But from here, maybe I'll go big stereo, pitch mode, single, color mode, maybe a little dark. Let's see. Look at that. We're going to heaven, fam. Me, I always like to use this auto filter from Ableton to control and to automate it. As you can see here, like, we can reduce the highs on that thing. Cut some of the lows. There's also this guy here, which is automating the filter adapt to add movement, up and down, up and down. It's insane, right? But a lot of people don't do it because, again, there's a lot of control. We need to control it. So from there, we use this plugin called Track Spacer in order for the vocals and the synths not to get drowned out by it. You can also use a normal compressor from Ableton. You can use a multiband. It's the same exact thing. You're just sidechaining in a spectral format. It looks at the frequency, so it's just a fancy one. Actually, a collab with one of you fellow ninjas. I discovered this guy's music, Astro Hertz, on TikTok, and I really liked it, and I was like, yo, this is sick, bro. He has some good songs. And he was like, yo, I learned everything from you. And I was like, what are you talking about? So eventually a collab came out of it. So he's been promoting the song similar to how he did for the other ones that I saw, and I like going through the comments on them. It brings me a lot of joy. And a lot of people talk about the synths, but mainly they talk about this one. Like, how was it done, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you guys today how it's done. This is something that a lot of producers don't want getting out because everyone's been kind of doing it. And it's literally going to get played out, but it's okay because we learn how to do it, and then we learn what else can we do with that technique, right? So for this synth, I actually used the Jupiter 8 B4. Now, don't let it intimidate you because it's actually one of the more simpler synths to use. It's very pre-routed. But the key thing to get these things to work is using an LFO on the filter, the VCF. You can also use it on volume if you choose. But from here, I'm going to do is, where can we init this, bruh? There we go. Template, just go default. So we're going to have this. So what we want is bringing down the cutoff. And then we're going to use this mod here. But we want to make sure it's coming from the LFO. So it's right here. So we have one envelope, and then we have the LFO. So we do this. Now the LFO, it stands for low frequency oscillator. It's routed over here, and then we can increase the rate. And we can move it down to slow it down, and that's the effect that you hear with that. Except now it's a saw instead of a sine, which makes it a lot more like from up to down, not gradual. Now, the other thing about it that's a lot of people like is how the delay leads into the drop. And it just repeats a lot. Now, I had to bounce it down again because I wanted to control that delay, or else the delay was going to last forever. But when you use a delay, you can have the delay self-oscillate, which is a very dangerous thing to do. But a lot of indie rock artists do it, and that's where I learned how to, like, that I can do something like that. So I took inspiration from that. And the idea is this. Use an echo, drop it in. We're going to use it as an insert because it's always being fed, and then we're just going to increase this up like this. We're going to have a high feedback, and now you decide how the speed of it with this. So notes, maybe every 1/4, some reverb. I've been watching a lot of my videos. I've been kind of telling you guys there's things I used to impress big and small producers, and one of those is actually this trick that you hear here. I got this from the idea of formants. If you go in Ableton there and you go EQ, there's some presets which are vocal-based formants. For instance, you can have formant bass like this, and it helps in giving like the synth this certain vibe. Now I didn't want to do it to that extreme, but you can see, look. But now you can highlight them all and move them. And that creates that cool tone there. So now we get this, and it's more impactful. You know, this is a collab with Astrohertz, so I had to use a bit of what he wanted to add and a bit of myself. So a lot of the synths he sent me sounded like this. But again, since it's minimal house, and I discovered Tantra 2 is one of the most gatekept plugins for minimal house producers, then I decided, you know what? If it's gatekept, that means we have to talk about it. But people love these synths, you know, and it's just, again, grabbing normal synths and using effects processors like Tantra to just make them sound more interesting. Now, when it comes to drums, I feel like most people can lay down good drums and stuff. But one of the things I always see is if I can add accents to drums to take it to the next level. And little accents, what I mean by that is stuff like this. Check it. Can you come in here? Because before that wasn't there. And then again. So again, as you become a better producer, more advanced, it's not that you become better overall as a producer, it's just you know how to get something to sound the way you want. So for the drums, I just amped them up by using the disclosure way, which just means using this Stutter 800 with the sooth at the end, which I got from watching a disclosure video, and there you go, and now I get it. So these are the things I learned from this track, and like I said before, these little things were like the defining factors in making this song one that I can be proud of, that sounds good, that I can hear on repeat. Hopefully these revelations help you guys as well to make the music that you want. Now if you guys want to support the song or you vibe with it as much as I did, make sure to check it out. It's going to be out at the end of this week. There's a link in the description for a pre-save. But other than that, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Now if you guys want to further your knowledge forward, consider watching this video here. A lot of good stuff to be learned, and hopefully it also helps you make the music that you want, because at the end of the day, that is my goal with everything that I do.